All right, guys. First 24 hours with your new puppy. Just want to go over what I did with my puppy. Again, like all these videos that I make, this is just what I did. A million different ways to do this stuff. Plenty of other videos out there. Tell you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Just going to tell you what we did. So picked up Kaiser. He was just under 9 weeks. We had to go to Vermont to get him. So on the way back, he was basically in a cargo crate with my wife sitting next to him on the way back. Pretty good ride back. Wasn't that big of a deal. When we got home, it was raining out here, so we couldn't do too much outside, but normally I like to just let the puppy explore the property, or the new dog explore the property, and before we even go inside. You're going to have an accident, especially if you had a long car ride, if you just go right inside. So I put a leash and a collar on him right away. My front yard, we have a street out here. It's not too busy or anything, but I like to have the dogs on leash out there. My backyard is it's big and it's fenced in. So when we're in the backyard, I drop the leash. I want the puppies, especially at the beginning, because puppies tend to just stick by your side no matter what. The world's big and scary. They just kind of follow you everywhere. So take advantage of that. I always have kibble in my pocket. I do a lot of imprinting with my marker words with new dogs, meaning they don't know what yes or the clicker means, but I always got food on me whenever they offer good behaviors. For example, if I'm out in the backyard with this new puppy, when I got home, whenever he would follow me, I would say, yes, good job, and give him a little piece of food. So I'm kind of, we're training in disguise, but I'm not really training, guys. All I'm really doing is when he offers something good, marking it and rewarding it. So on day one, when we got home, the very first thing that we did, after we had him outside for a little bit, we have another dog here. We don't have kids, but if I had kids here, and and obviously another dog here, I don't let my puppies or new dogs meet my other dogs for a little while. I slowly introduce them. I don't just put the puppy down and go, here you go, here's your new friend. I need the dog to bond with me and my wife. The humans is who the dog needs to bond with. He's going to have the rest of his life to play with my other dog. I don't need to rush any of that. With the kids, depending on the ages of the kids, toddlers and stuff, personally, the puppy's going through a ton. It's a huge transition when you bring a new puppy home. I wouldn't let toddlers overwhelm the dog, and they're not toys, man. They're animals. They're living beings, and again, they're going through a lot. The goal for me is, again, for the dog to bond. I need to be this dog's world. So personally, I wouldn't let the toddlers have a ton of exposure to the dog for the first few weeks. It would be supervised, obviously supervised, but all the interactions would be small. Again, I really need the dog to bond with me, especially when we start getting into training. Tell everybody, just like with people, especially with dogs, love, respect, trust, all that stuff is earned. So one of the biggest things I see is that people fall in love with their dog on day one, especially kids. They're automatically in love with the dog. Here's the problem. Your dog doesn't love you guys, has no idea who you are. You're brand new. You just took it from its mom, its litter mates, its environment that it's been in for the last 8 weeks. It's going through a massive transition. And if you have a puppy, a lot of you probably experienced this, not all puppies want to be cuddled. They don't all want to be kissed on the face. You might get bit. They bite the shit out of you. They scratch you. They don't like being picked up. Tell people all the time, we're primates. We like to hug. Dogs they're not huggers. A lot of dogs find hugging and cuddling an offensive position when you're leaning over, when you're picking them up. I get asked often, my dog doesn't like being picked up. What should I do? It's like, stop picking it up. That stuff's earned, guys. I can tell you, I've had dogs that loved affection, the total cuddle bugs, and I've had other ones that didn't like it at all or only wanted it on their terms, which is fine. You shouldn't push that shit on to your dog. you know, if a stranger did that to you, you'd probably be offended too. So at the very beginning, again, not to get sidetracked, but at the very beginning, it's about engagement with the puppy. I want the puppy to want to be with me. So on day one, I played a lot of games with him, a lot of toys, tug, did some flirt pole stuff in the garage because it was raining. I want him to think I'm a huge party. So I need him to think that I'm like his entire world. So that's where I start. The only training that really starts in the first day is the crate training and the potty training. Like I said, I introduced him to the crate right away because that's where he's going to sleep that night. So when we got inside, I started introducing him to the crate. He probably went in and out of the crate multiple times that day. You know, I was putting toys in there. I'll make a video on the crate training. But I needed to start the crate training on day one because I don't want to wait until that night to put him in, or you're going to get no sleep. And it's worked awesome. So anywho, crate training, potty training are the only things that you should really, in my opinion, be worried about on day one. Just take it slow. These guys get super tired. I don't know if you can see, but Kaiser's sound asleep right now. They sleep a lot, guys. So take advantage of that. Do some stuff with them, and then manage them in their crates, in their X pens, or however you're doing it, baby gates, and let them sleep. You don't have to keep these guys occupied all day long. But on day one, it was just basically showing this guy the property, showing him where he's going to be that night, getting him used to just the environment, and like I said, a lot of playing with the dog, but no over coddling and affection type of stuff. I wasn't trying to just, you know, hug him and kiss him and all that stuff. It was more just be with me, dude. I always have the tether on the dog from, you know, when they're in the house and stuff, but in the same breath, in my backyard where it's all fenced in, I like to drop the tether and have him basically off leash, and I do a lot of chase me games. I never chase the dog. I don't want that to start being a game. I want them to always be trying to come to me. And I do like a lot of I work on recall, I guess, right at the beginning, you know, come here with me. If the dog actually comes, I say, yes, good job, buddy, and give him food, but I'm not training. I'm just layering things that are going to be, that he's going to start hearing later on when we start doing the training. So again, first day, just take it slow. Show them the environment, have all your stuff ready for when you bring the dog home. Again, don't overwhelm the dog. They're going through a lot. That 3 day, 3 weeks, 3 month thing, it's very real. The day you get on day one is not the dog that you're going to have like 3 or 4 days into. You're going to look back and be like, wow, he's, you know, starting to settle in, starting to show his personality, all that. Don't get any false sense of hope on day one, or don't get upset on day one if things aren't going great. It takes them time to settle in. About 3 weeks in, they're starting to really get, you know, okay, this is where my new environment, they're getting settled in. 3, 4, 5 months down the road, that's the dog that you have. But you're going to see a lot of change in the dog. So again, good or bad, don't get upset on day one if it doesn't go great. You got tons of time to work on things. And then in the opposite, if you think you have the perfect puppy on day one, promise you, you don't. You don't. Anyone who's done this and been there knows that the puppy you have in the first couple days is not the dog you have for real. But a lot of things you can do in the first couple of days to make it a lot easier for them. But my biggest tip is just to become their buddy, earn that trust, earn that respect. The training stuff's all going to happen, but it's a lot easier to train the dog that actually wants to be with you, wants to work with you, and thinks you're like awesome. So that's what I work on. So be awesome and make your dog think that you are its entire world. That should be what you be working on in those first, especially on the first day. You're not working on anything, but next couple days, couple weeks, and everything that you do, your dog should be looking at you like you are the world. So that goes back to not letting your dog bond with your other animals in your house, or just with your kids. Like they're spending all the time with the puppy. Dog needs to bond with whoever's going to be taking care of it if you want to have any success. So give it a try. That's just what I do. Hope this helps one of you guys.